kind with lot more kind with words. I can say that I don't look at myself like this yet. I mean, I couldn't believe, is it me? Sort of like very kind of you to say so many nice words, I must say.
No, no, but yours is a story that really inspires us. We now got almost 250 attendees. The time has started. The number is only going up, as I can see right now. So the Paytm founder, Vijay Shekhar Sharma, is with us, the original poster boy for startups, an absolutely inspiring story. Vijay Shekhar Sharma, you came from a small town. I was just telling all my attendees that you didn't even know the English language till the age of 15. Seems like, Jeffrey Archer, Cain and Abel, that you taught yourself that language, but you were hungry. You had ambition. You had a fire in your belly that I think many, many, many people don't have. I would like to tell you, we are also being joined by several people from schools and colleges who are looking up to you now. So, Vijay Shekhar Sharma, you're not the only one who has ambition and a fire in the belly or from a small town. I want to ask you, what worked for you? And if today Vijay Shekhar Sharma was 21 years old, as hungry, as ambitious, what would he do during COVID and post COVID?
Oh my God. So first of all, these are extraordinary times, Nayantara. I mean, there is no secret about it that it is not easy for every one of us to cope with this moment. And I think it is tough. Still in these days, I would have gone back to learn the markets, learn the thing that my art would have been, my science would have been, my skill would have been. I would have read a lot. I would have basically, when you are confined to a space, this is your time to sort of armor yourself well, sort of train yourself well, sort of learn well. So I would have gone back to learning as much possible as I could have done. I'd say that. And then when slowly as lockdown would have got opened, I would have gone one thing at a time and so on and so forth.
But you think you would have chosen the same career? Chose?
Well, if you notice that my company has taken shapes of different technologies over the period of time, so I know for sure I would have been an entrepreneur who would have attempted to build something worthwhile coming out of this country. And with that as an ambition, yes, I would have been the same guy, except that maybe the things that I would be doing today, if I'm starting, wouldn't be possibly the same things that I'm talking. For example, like today the business of our business is based on huge amount of capital deployment. I mean, we are talking tens of thousands of crores multiple time deployed here in this company. Now obviously, if I'm starting, I would not have access to such capital, so I would have changed myself to pick up something which could start in a smaller capital. Let's say an electric vehicle led technology, or something purely on lending side, because there is a huge opportunity in financial services any which way for a beginner also in this time right now. Or like I said, autonomous vehicles, electric vehicles, and mobility is something which is very hot, and there is a lot of opportunity.
So electric vehicles, you said that twice now. Can I ask you, post COVID, is that what you're looking at? Do you have any ambitions to be great?
No, I mean, post COVID, as a individual and as a company, we are well sorted in terms of scope of work that we want to take care. I don't think that we would go and venture into, let's say, what I was quoting, electric vehicle or something like that. But at the same point in time, short mobility is something that was an opportunity. So post COVID, if you were to ask me as a CEO of Paytm, I would do more financial services. And if you were to see me as a fresh new entrepreneur post COVID, and this is the time to start, then I would probably start in a short mobility services, for example, like those small scooters, electric bikes, or so on and so forth kind of services, which are inevitably to grow large.
Shama, before we start talking about the recession that we are in, you have made that very clear that all this talk of whether we are in a recession or not is all hocus pocus because recession is here. But like I told you, there are a lot of people who have logged in here who want to know about your story. At a time like this, they're looking for an inspirational story. Maybe they want to latch onto it. It's also a great story to learn from, to know that you can fight against the odds and make it here. You're one of the youngest billionaires we had, a self-made billionaire. It was not a bed of roses all through. Did you ever at one point think, छोड़ो, मैं वापस घर जा रहा हूँ, नहीं हो रहा मुझसे, क्यों लगा हुआ मैं इसके पीछे?
करेक्ट, वो डाउट नहीं है, वो हमेशा होता है, और एवरीवन इज अ ह्यूमन एंड ऑफ द डे. बट the lucky thing in my stage was that where I come from, the place I come from. I come from Aligarh. The opportunities of person who would have graduated from an engineering college in Delhi College of Engineering, I couldn't have started back. So net, what you're talking here is that I would have uh, I basically closed all my doors of going back. That is
Hmm.
what I can say. So there was absolutely no intention, no commitment, and no, I mean, no thought of even going back. I always say this, that you have only one way to win, which is all in. If you're
Yeah.
all in, that is the way to win, and that means that you forget about all your exit paths. If you
Hmm.
shut the doors of exit, you will try finding a way forward, and that is what I probably believe in. When these tough moments, like when frustrating moments like what you're quoting comes, then you look at the purpose that you started it with, meaning why were you here, तुम यहाँ आए क्यों, करने क्या वाले थे, what were you trying to achieve that you started the journey. So whenever in doubt or in frustration, think about it, why are you in this and why were you here. Is it that you would go from here? No way. I mean, no history will regard you as a even a warrior if you go here. So the end will be the fight and the war and the war room death, not the go back peacefully live kind of thing. I can say that.
Tell me a little bit about your journey. Share it with us. You know, you've gone through a dot-com bust. There were times when people were writing your company's obituary. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so I think it's easy. I mean, people who do not know who you are or the company is not the business model, they can continue to believe that this is a high tide or a low tide for company. While the I think I started this company way back in 2001, when feature phones were there, and then people were trying to discover how can I use my phone to do few more things. So the first thing that we did was, I still remember that SMS service where you can locate somebody's missed call that you receive, whose phone number is it. So remember 2000, 2001, that time when phone calls used to be 16 rupees per minute, the mobile phone calls, and people used to give each other missed call. And they used to be a pager also in those days, if you remember what I'm quoting those days. So people would get a missed call, and then they would try understanding whose call is it, and they would not call back unless they know whose this it is. So we built a service which used to be that you text the number and you get to know whose phone number was it. So let's say if I text the number that is, and they say, okay, oh, Mr. Sharma's call came, so now I can call back or not. Now this service is what Truecaller today gives, like very confirming the phone number. So 2001 197 is the service which you dial 197 on your landline and you talk to somebody on the phone and say, I need phone number of Mr. Sharma, or whose phone number is it, and that they will tell the number. So 197 started with that SMS service. SMS service became the voice service because a lot of people were not very comfortable texting. So then we built a voice-based services. When you dial a number and you listen to music, you listen to astrologer, you talk to cricket score, or you talk to astrologer, you listen to cricket score. So dial-in based content services. I'm talking 2001 and 2002, 3, 4, 5. These are the years when people needed content on the phone, and the content methods were text or a voice call. So we built SMS service, then we built voice-based service, and then all these services continue to get a lot of competition, or the customer behavior continue to change. Then we started to do prepaid lifecycle management for telecom operators. This is marketing and data analytics. So
I
based
got
on your call data patterns and usage, we will pitch you what you all have. So I would say that I think we slowly, and 2010 was a eureka moment when the smartphone happened in the West. So all the feature phone led technology services company, our fellow companies who were bigger than us, some were smaller than us, significant of them disappeared because the business model they could not innovate, and we switched from feature phone business to a smartphone business. And that time we discovered that, I mean, the biggest question in front of me in 2010 was, what would I do if I do not have friend in telecom operator, because telecom operator is no more the power center of this value chain of customer, device, telecom operator. And then we went through this journey of evolving into a consumer brand, and then we went through the whether we'll do content, advertising, gaming, payments, or what, I mean, devices. So let me say this, that it was I would say, well thought out from round of elimination and round of selection, that we wanted to be big, but we wanted something protective tough, that if we are there, then there is a value to be made. I still remember when I pitched a payment service to my board was like, no, you are telling me that Indians will love to pay using mobile phone. First of all, they don't have smartphones so much. I'm talking 2011, by the way. And number two, the internet connection on smartphone is so costly. And number three, in this country, people prefer to take cash because they like to believe that the money has now exchanged my hand and I have it in my hand.
Or they
So
are number two.
so they were like totally against it. I mean, they just did not believe that there will be a market for mobile payment business in this country. And then I was told that, look, internet payment companies, and I'm sure you know those internet payment companies, they are not big, so why would you think this will be big? But I think the biggest belief that I with my team carried was that smartphone will bring incredible size of computing in common Indian consumers.
But Vijay,
Common Indians
you
will get
know,
this.
now that has happened. That has happened. You also had demonetization. You converted demonetization into your eureka moment, into your unicorn moment, and you arrived. The cost of acquisition of a customer was also made easier for you simply because of demonetization, and
Yeah,
people were looking for an avenue.
yeah,
What I want to ask you today, and I'm sure a lot of people are now wondering, you're no longer the only digital payment outlet out there anymore, right? Uh, what is going to be Paytm's differentiator?
yeah.
Is it going to be the wallet? Is it going to be the banking ambitions you have, the events you want to do, the concerts you want to host? What is going to be Paytm's next big goal?
Yeah. So, first of all, the payment itself is so huge as a business that it requires many players to play along, because you're talking about incrementally more billions and billions of dollars of investment. So, it is an obligation for more players to come in this country. I mean, there is no secret about it that only a few players did not even have wherewithal. If you notice, when we started 2014, we started with as a wallet, and over the period we converted itself into an aggregated of all payment options, so customers can pay using wallet, link bank account, postpaid account that we gave them, and in due course few more funding sources that we can give it to the consumers. So Paytm remains India's best financial services company, including the payment, the bank, the lending, the insurance, and the wealth solutions. So if you notice us, we will be the financial services company of internet age of this country.
Hmm. You
Financial services company.
So you want to be in everything. Like I know you want to be in mutual funds. You want to give gold. You want to do everything. So you're going to be in all.
Financial services company. So we have three businesses: payment business, financial services business, and internet services. Internet services is what you talk about, the events, movies, train, etc., etc. So this is a business where we are very happy, EBITDA break even company. We continue to be the number two, just little at the neck of the number one guy, so that we are a substantial market share and profitable. Payment remains our customer acquisition and retention strategy. All our payment businesses, in one or other way, start to break even because we get to keep the money from our different funding sources, including the float money that exists within our system. And then comes the financial services. So 2020 is the beginning of financial services for us. We launched Paytm Money as a precursor in 2019. 2020 is the year where Paytm will start to get identified as a financial service providers. So here it is: payment, financial services, and internet services. And going forward, if you were to notice, my significant large money, our companies will be made in financial services, and payments is a customer acquisition, merchant acquisition strategy. Financial services is a monetization strategy, and internet service gets more engagement.
Boss, you're going to do this. You're talking about in 2020 when we don't know when we'll be allowed to go out of our homes.
Well, it
What
is.
our salaries will be? Will I have a salary? What will happen to the economy? Like, are you kidding me? Like, are you actually trying to double down now?
Yeah, that's right. I think we announced 20,000 crore of investment in this country. So we raised our money just little at the end of 2019. We committed our money to financial inclusion, financial services, and dominating the payments. So payment is our customer acquisition, merchant acquisition strategy, and financial services are monetization strategy. So yes, we definitely, while you're saying is true, the world is not same as what it would been, but the world needs even more sincere financial service provider at this point of time. If you notice, even the banks, even the lenders, even the insurance companies need lot of lot of technology upgrade, lot of upgrade in lower cost, so we can serve the needy. Corona has only increased the potential of financial services in this country, and it's very very clear that lower cost, higher value financial services will be even more valuable. So
So this is what you're planning to do in the year,
yes.
despite all of the clarity. Is this how you're converting? This was your plan pre-COVID, right?
Yeah.
You're sticking to your plan. So uh, then how are you going to convert? And I want to ask you this particular crisis into an opportunity, because I know you do that. You're excelling at that, and most of our attendees who have logged in want to know this. How are you going to convert the current crisis into an opportunity? Because right now, what you're sharing with us is your plan, even before we have ever heard of coronavirus.
Yeah, that's right. So there is something that we are building right now. If I'm lucky and I'm able to convert, then the opportunity that is on us is that we wanted to remember the O2O commerce where you go to the shop, you place an order, and you pay using Paytm. Now, what we are changing is that if you go to a shop, you scan the QR code there, and you place an order on your phone, and you just pick up the items. So we are upgrading the experience of the shop from placing an order, from a payment to a placing an order, so that you, when you are in the queue of social distancing, or when you are in the queue of, let's say, restaurant entry over the period, you, instead of waiting and getting queued for a long time, you could place an order and pick up, or place an order and walk in and eat. So what we are trying to do at this point of time is that instead of just paying on the counter when you scan the QR code, you could also scan the QR code and place the order,
So, matlab, you buy at your house.
and you walk to the store.
Huh.
And so there are two options. One, you place an order on your house and you pick up yourself, or you go to the shop and there is a big QR code that you scan, you place the order, and by the time your turn come, you pick up the item and go back home. So basically we are trying to solve the problem of social distancing, queuing up, and opportunity, and converting into an opportunity that shops would like to take digital orders. So if we are able to pick up the opportunity to convert local shopkeeper into an internet savvy shopkeeper, where you can start placing an order using phone, this will be a leapfrog, because now we can account for now incremental 5, 10, 20% of his orders.
I'm going to ask you a question, and I have to ask you this question. I think this is the first time you're being seen on a public platform ever since this happened. At the start of coronavirus, you said, "Let me tell you, there is going to be no sizable fundraising."
Yeah.
Then along came Mukesh Ambani and Reliance Jio, and they got Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook to invest $6 billion. Everybody is saying कि ये जो end में जो खेल है WhatsApp पे का होगा. They are anyway already talking about merchants and shopkeepers. Vijay Shekhar Sharma, are they going to threaten your turf? And what you're talking about, they can also do with WhatsApp.
So there is no doubt about it that there is always an opportunity which is huge in this country. I mean, you cannot have only a one or two or three companies taking the sort of digitization on their shoulder and then achieve it. So first of all, we need more partners. We need more money in this country. So the more the money that comes in the digitization and enabling of technology to the small shops and small consumer, better it is. Number one. Number two, as far as us is concerned, we always believe that this is not a zero sum game. I mean, we've clearly said that our business model is serving 500 million Indians. And if somebody wants to take 600 million customers, welcome, please take that 600 million onward, because we are not even going to go for those customers. So we are clear in our minds that 500 million customers will love what we serve to them, and how we are offering them payment, financial services, internet services, like I told you about. And that's what our business is. That business does not exist, that this business will coexist with other businesses also in the country, and that is more the merrier and the welcome it is.
So tell me, Vijay Shekhar Sharma, for this bold move that you have, this crisis into an opportunity that you're doing, where you're going to be working with shopkeepers, our neighborhood stores, coming out with the QR codes. Ye kab hoga? Can you give us a little idea? You're saying you're working on the back end. You did have this past with Reimagine.
So answer is that right now we are totally in the operations mode. We've started signing up stores. If you go to some of the restaurants, you could see it in Delhi and in Bombay, in Bangalore. So slowly, slowly it is spreading out. We are I mean, in a month you will see it at a lot more places, because first we had to build the technology, and second we had to go to convince them to buy, and then government had to open the lockdown also for us to deploy the technology. So really speaking, I mean, 16th May onwards, which is today, when the lockdown is finishing, and hopefully from Monday onwards, you would start seeing in action. So it is at the verge of launch because we are waiting for lockdown to open, and right now we have been able to integrate in few of the shops and restaurants already.
And tell me, the Prime Minister's clarion call, go local, go vocal with local, इसमें
Yeah.
पेटीएम का क्या प्लान है?
So, I mean, I totally believe in that, by the way. I mean, and Tara, to everybody in this call, I totally believe that if we want to make our country the superpower, then we have to make our country's resources and the people who are building these technologies here. Like Prime Minister said, everything that is made in India is a local for us. So I first of all believe that if we start to believe that there is something that is being built in this country is good for us, and then we find out that it is incredibly good because those people who are sincere will end up building something really good, we will be in a good and better shape. So I call upon everybody who's watching this broadcast right now and over the period watching, that please go local stands for see what local entrepreneurs, your local companies, your friends and families and neighborhoods are building. It is what will make India the superpower. Remember that if you go different countries, they always, I mean, in United States also, they say locally owned bakery or local service, community service center, or sort of the local communities are the ones that are supported by the local people there. So in a bigger sense, India requires foreign investment. At the same point in time, we need incredible amount of support for the entrepreneurs that are building technologies and systems in this country. Remember, India is an open country, so we will always have international players to play players in the market, no doubt about it. At the same point in time, if as an Indian, instead of being blinded towards something which is being sort of pushed on us, versus we can make a decision about what is good and what is better, I do believe that Indians, entrepreneurs and business people are all super concerned and super, I would say working hard, extraordinarily working hard to build the products that are incredible out of this country. I believe that Paytm, as Paytm, we want to be the champion product of this country, goes out and takes the flag of India and hoists this. For example, like we've done it in Japan, by the way. I mean, when you go in Japan, you see our brand name PayPay there. These are our friends in Japan. SoftBank and us have built it. It is right now just crushing it and killing it, like that word that people
How are you
use.
doing it?
I mean, it is right now the largest payment service, mobile payment service in Japan. It actually has more than 25 million customers in a country of 135 million in less than 2 years, and it has the largest number of offline merchants. Now, this could be possible because we built this technology here, and we could go in that country and deploy it. So, what I'm trying to say here is that India is right now building some global world-class companies. When we come up to support them and be their champion, Indian technologies and companies can go global and can take the flag of India and can make us all proud
You
and
know,
can make us all expand.
exactly what you have been trying to do. So, Vijay Shekhar Sharma, let me also ask you a question. You know, there are always people who want to criticize, who always want to bring up things, right? So, when they talk about Paytm, they sometimes very often ask, "ये company Indian भी है, ये Chinese तो नहीं है, ये Japani तो नहीं है." Looking at, maybe
I
Alibaba's and
think
SoftBank's
so.
investors.
Look, that's a very naive for anybody, and I totally believe this. Most of the time, these are the competition or people who do not like our success to pull down. While the truth of matter is, this is the absolutely Indian company, more Indian than many of those who are actually putting this question itself and the company they work for. So this is an absolutely Indian company which had FIIs, foreign institutional investors, as an investors. And if you go in stock market, the companies which are 75% allowed for an equity, I mean, we have majority and more than majority and clear majority Indian shareholders or Indian board members on our board. So I mean, I think this is controlled, governed, and run by Indian company. And what else there? As far as the institutional investors are concerned, they can come from anywhere. And I think till the time period they are not controlling our operations. Till that time period, this is a company run, operated, and governed by Indian laws and Indian people. It is a perfectly Indian company. In fact, the fact is that because we are an Indian company and we are that successful when it comes to the challengers, a lot of foreigners, when they come, they try to propagate this agenda. We found out one point in time that how was this question ever asked? And then we drilled down, we found out somebody which was absolutely some different country person who was trying to drive that. I was like, wow, this is really cute. I mean, just because you are not here as a Indian guy, you want to push this,
Not
you want to throw the mud on someone else.
You mean it was not an Indian who first raised this question? It was just
It's
some.
funny. It is that I
Then
learned that.
now when आजकल there is this whole thing कि don't buy things Chinese. There's this whole sentiment, for example, which is going on. The government also, for example, has said they're going to be screening investments, and the rules have been changed to primarily include money coming in from China. Do you have any strong views or any views at all on that matter at all?
I think there is no secret about it. When you look at India and sovereign borders of India, we have to protect. And when it comes to the data of citizen of this country, we have to be even super protective.
Hmm.
We cannot let data localization kind of concerns be restricted by east or west either ways. So data localizations, protecting borders, protecting citizens, not just in physical space with the borders, but also in cyberspace, is an important sovereign duty that our government is absolutely correctly doing and should continue to do.
Okay. So you think we should continue doing it? You don't think it's a bad thing at all? Because people thought you might have strong views simply because of your relationship with Jack Ma and Alibaba.
No, I think, look, I would say that as far as investment is concerned, there is no doubt about it that there is a huge amount of investment that comes from east or west, both from in India, and India needs a lot of investment. When as far as these concerns around data protections and the border protection is concerned, everything is secondary to that. So these are the primary agendas. I mean, I would say that if we do not protect our citizen and sovereignty, what else we are building it for? I mean, what gain or what is the use of that commercial gain if it was not for this country? I mean, is that a trick question now?
Like I introduced you as a small town boy who made it very big, and a small town boy for who failure was absolutely not an option and converted every failure and crisis into an opportunity. You're also a charter member of Thai Delhi NCR. There are many entrepreneurs, startups, founders who are tuning in at the moment. You shared with us that how you would convert this crisis into opportunity, the new business that you are getting into. What is the one big advice that you actually give to people that you mentor, that you talk to? You're also, you like to invest in these stakeholders.
I think ambition, size of ambition is the definition where we end up reaching. If I wanted to earn 1 lakh rupee salary as my life's ambition, because I came from a place where the job was a big benchmark, I achieved my ambition much early in my career. And by the way, this is the ambition that I carried, that one day I will earn 1 lakh rupees a month in my life. And I think I achieved that career ambition. 10 years of my job, I was able to achieve. Did you know a very interesting fact that till 2007, my monthly salary was not 1 lakh rupees, meaning I was earning less than, actually, I was earning less than 10 lakh rupees for my 10 years of my job. So, or actually 1998 to 2007, it is little less than 10 years. My job was not earning 10 lakh rupees a month, 10 lakh rupees a year. So I actually lived a life like you just very nicely portrayed, which is true, that I was not even earning 1 lakh. So my life's ambition was clear that if I can earn 1 lakh rupees a month, I'm sort of arrived in my life. And so that day onward, I stopped bothering about money at all. And now I said that what is the purpose, what is the purpose of the life, what is the grandeur of the energies that I have can be executed towards the betterment of this country, towards the betterment of these fellow citizens, and can I do something worthwhile on a world platform where we can be recognized as a country, company, and people. And that is when this all turned into an ambition of a purpose. The purpose was never about the money that I can make for me. And that is why, maybe some of you do not know, the Paytm company ESOP pool is actually my personal equity.
Okay.
So last year, 1,500 crore rupees of ESOPs were cashed out from the company, and that technically was all my personal equity that was converted into ESOP and given to the team. So I believe in the people, I believe in friendship, I believe in people whom I trust to be around me, and that set of people whom I want to be with. And that is why I did not stop at saying that, oh, you should get just a salary, but you should get a piece of me, the piece of thing that I love, and we are building together. So I literally gave my equity to that fool. So bringing that here, now the question that you were asking was about that, what is I tell people? I say that set up your ambition large, because you are defined by the size of your ambition. If you have an ambition, you will find a way. if you are sincere towards your ambition, you will definitely find a way. Somebody will give you way, somebody will support you on the way, because people eventually polarize for the purpose that you stand for. If your purpose is something pious and your mission is something worthwhile, you will see support coming from the places and God above at a time when you would have never expected. So I totally fundamentally believe that put your ambitions and purpose ahead of yourself, and then you will find out that you have a lot of support and a lot of people are coming and joining your mission.
So you have to also keep changing your goalpost, also in a sense, is what you're trying to tell me. Now, you also said that after you started taking home a salary of 1 lakh rupee a month, you stopped worrying about money. One of
Yeah.
your mentors and investors in, in Paytm is of course Warren Buffett, who is a flag bearer who's talking about giving it back. He's a philanthropist. He's talked often about how his children have not understood what he's doing. He's doing it with the likes of Bill Gates. Vijay, where are you in this? Are you going to give it all back? Are you going to recycle it all? What's the plan?
I fundamentally believe no human needs beyond a particular size of money. Actually, I mean, if you notice, this is the kind of perks that I feel. I mean, you see me in person, you've seen me all my expenditure in life. So I can tell you that one, you must not be, let's say, the slave of money, where the money needs of your life are beyond a normal person of your age and a career context could have done it. So one thing I've been sure is that maybe on a paper you can tell some number, but as a real life, I earn, I spend less than my salary, and my salary keeps gives me some money that I invest in other startups. So, and I can tell you on the table, I am definitely not. My salary did not get a hike since 2016. Do you know this? My salary, my board members and I decided that I will kept this salary at the level that 2016 it was. So no salary hike, no adjustments, no extra perks ever is added since 2016 in my salary.
Ask me what your salary is.
Well, the salary is public because the document filing is public, and I also want to share the fact that my salary is not the highest for the fellow peer companies like these that are talked about it. So my board saw that I was like on a fourth or fifth place in the list of people who were getting salary, and then they said, I think we should because there is an NRC, no, remuneration committee on the board that discusses. So the discussion was so I think Vijay salary should be increased and so on. The discussion was that. And then the overall, I said, oh, so somebody looked at me. So do you think there should be salary? I said, you know me, one of my fellow board member, and I call him co-founder Ravi Adusumali. He said, I don't think you need more than this money anyways, Vijay. So I said, absolutely not, Ravi. So we said, so then we unanimously decided that we're going to cap Vijay's salary, cash salary at this level. Everything that Vijay does will be for the equity gains. So I and my teammates, fellow teammates are clear that we are here to build an incredible company, a valuable company for everyone, every employee of ours, every teammate of ours, every shareholder of ours. And to this country, we will give something worthwhile that in our lifetime we could deliver something. Look, financial inclusion is not a altruistic vision that is just a stated word. It is something that we can very visually see that we are achieving. Paytm Bank has 50 million plus bank accounts, and 40% of them are monthly active bank accounts. And Paytm Bank also posted profit. If you noticed, a few days back, we announced that.
Yeah.
That is only possible if you are clear, committed on your mission to bring something which has not existed in this country. And that what has not existed is a banking, a financial institution, a group of financial services companies that are led by technology and built on the principles of no fear, no greed, no entitlement. And that is what it is.
Because that's great to hear. Because, like I also told you, we've got a lot of uh, young entrepreneurs. We've got a lot of children joining in from schools and colleges. You can call this as actually a true life lesson and a good philosophy lesson, a life philosophy lesson that you're giving here from none other than Vijay Shekhar Sharma. So tell me something. You said that you don't even manage to spend your entire salary. You keep some of it out to invest in startups. I've
Correct.
already started seeing so many emails from all of the attendees. How do we contact Vijay for our startup? Is there an email? How is it supposed to be done?
Oh, this is real tricky because I am all committed for my own company. This is Paytm. So I personally invest when some of my fellow friends are investing, and I only put a follow so that it does not become a asset class, or I don't put an attention to invest. I basically am not an angel investor of an active kind. I'm a I'm a passive angel investor, which means that if somebody else, for example, like I have huge regard for Rajan Anandan, who's in ex Google and now in Sequoia. I have huge regard for many of the fellow other entrepreneurs who sort of do more active attention or pay attention to investment. I simply follow them. So if any one of you want to see me as an investor, get somebody who is whom you know I talk to.
I'm meant to invest, and then Vijay Shekhar Sharma might.
I'm a follow. I'm a follow. I a lot of time commit to, let's say, one of my office mate. She started a company, and then she wanted to know whether I will invest or not. I said, look, I will invest because you I know. But so can I ask that you are investing at this price? I said, don't say the price because let the price be defined by someone else. I'm not actively going to be telling someone that I put the valuation math on this. So I'm an investor. You can say without even asking you how much of the valuation of your company is. So I belong to the club of supporting friends. I belong to the club of supporting entrepreneurs. I belong to the club of extending, amplifying the purpose. And that means that I would be the part of your journey, my friend, just because somebody else whom I have huge respect and regard is actually committing the money. So it's an easy way to get money.
You have reached a space that people only dream of. Like, you can literally call up Warren Buffett for advice. You can call up Masa of SoftBank for advice, Jack Ma of Alibaba for advice. Can you share with us during the lockdown? Have there been conversations? Have you got advice? On a personal front, अपना भी तो सोचना होता है ना, because if your
Correct.
morale is not high, how are you going to take care of other people? Plus, the interest that is there in Paytm. What advice have they given you?
Okay, so I had a call from Masa. Masa called me. I can see the photo of Masa and me shaking hand downstairs here. So Masa called me. Hello, Vijay. This is Masa, and I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, obviously, I have his phone number saved, so I was like, oh, why is he calling me in the afternoon? So I had yeah, yeah. I mean, Indian afternoon, which was his probably after, so I was like, oh, not today. It was not today. So I had a call with Masa. I have a call with some incredible people whom I can't even share publicly right now. I can say that, and then one thing I understand that everybody is looking at this period when they are sort of in their, I would say, they're looking inside. They are sort of reflecting, and I'm quoting people from Japan, people from Hong Kong, China, people from London, people from United States, East Coast, West Coast, everywhere. So I have had a chance to have discussions from multiple sides, and and I can say that this is the time when people are discovering themselves, what they have done good, great, and what is the ambition they're carrying forward, and how will they reflect upon. Everybody is reflecting upon and sort of telling me also some things. For example, like one person at so I had a phone call. So we said, so how's life? I said, oh, I couldn't be happier because I think somehow, as the luck would have had it, our losses have reduced now to much less level, that I'm so happy that I've reached a particular milestone I was carrying, which I would have probably taken September, October to reach. So I'm really happy that it is happening in the month of March itself. He said, oh wow, I really like the way you're looking at it. Now only one extra advice, that now you're looking at that. Any cost that is not earning direct revenue, just look at that again. Should you spend that cost or not? So this is a very successful person who called me to figure out some things, and then when I replied, then the advice came was, any cost that you're spending which is not earning revenue, you should look at it once again, whether you want to spend that cost or not. And I just cannot believe it. The simple advice made us even go further down. For example, like, I'm just going to give you an example here. We were in process of taking a large rent in Bangalore city, like 2000 plus people space in Bangalore city, and we were in the negotiations, and then COVID happened, that large building that we wanted to take. So then all think that this advice will, I will like, okay, so maybe people are contemplating they'll work from home. We already have some office, we were looking to increase it, and that just allowed us to go back to the negotiation table with the landlord, and we are saving more money again there. So I can only say this, that people like you quoted, whether
Hmm.
you can call Masas, Jack Ma, or Warren or Berkshire Hathaway. And my board has some really even more incredible fellow board members whom I can reach out to, including Mark Schwartz, including Pallavi Shroff, who's in Delhi. So I think this is the time when you are making phone call and you are able to have a meaningful conversation because people are not rushing into their lives. I think that is what it is.
And everybody, there's also time for self-reflection, right? I think it's like almost as if we're told to be in detention and figure out how we've been plundering the world. But as we do that, Vijay, I also want to ask you this. You've been smart. You had access to some of the best people on this planet who are telling you how to go about doing it, right? Now, here's a photograph with Bill Gates and all, by the way. So now, many of them don't. And their advice basically has been, including from Rajan Anandan, that make your cash runway stretch. It's
Yeah.
been a turbulent time for startups. Very tough decisions they've had to do, whether it's to do with furloughs, whether it is to do with layoffs. And it's never easy, right? Because a startup is your baby. A lot of these people don't even know how to strike that personal time, professional time balance.
Yeah.
So it's been a very turbulent time. So when people also come to you talk about that and how they do business without a heart right now, it's very stressful. What do you tell them? How is it supposed to go to sleep at night, have a conscience, go to work?
I would agree, and I would agree first of all that these are very turbulent time and everybody is reflecting. And I am getting calls, or there are companies that are sort of at the runway end. And the first thing I tell them is take any harsh call whatsoever that you want to, just expand your runway. The reason is that the number of months it will take for somebody to open the checkbook to invest in a young startup is going to be increasing. And even if you're an incredible business but you're spending money, it is not a great. And spending meaning net spending money. If you can spend out of what you're earning or out of your savings which you have, which you can plan, you're in a lucky space. But if you are not, just stop any expansion what you can believe or not. I'm right now to the question of number of calls of entrepreneurs that have come. I'm actually investing in a company just because I have huge respect and regard for their resilience of staying in the business. They were going through the tough time before COVID, and the gentleman comes back that we are trying to think that we can get an extension of runway by getting some money. Would you give us some money? And I was like, oh my god, it is incredible to believe that you are also going in this time period and taking an even further adventure of saying, I'm going to take money and raise money from, even though they have raised money from some, I would say VCs, they said that we are going to do a private round, private meaning individual round. And I was like, wow, this is huge kudos and reward. So and I expected, I got busy, so the person sends me a message again. I don't want to bug you, are you okay, would you invest or not? And I said, oh, obviously I will invest. I just love the adventure and the your sincere resilience to not give up. I think that is the most, the endurance, the perseverance are the most important quality of an entrepreneur. And in these days, a lot of entrepreneurs who are going through bad time are exposing that part of their personality or their weakness of their personality, whichever way you can call it. And I can see that a lot of companies are reaching runway of their expenditure, and they're switching around the gears, they're finding new things to do, they're finding new ways to get a little more money. And I have huge respect and regard for them. So every fellow entrepreneur, I can only say this, my heart comes out when I get to know your struggles. And I only can pray that if I can contribute in any which ways, please ping me. They know how to ping me at Vijay Shekhar on Twitter.
So basically, get in touch with him on Twitter. Okay, so Vijay, the other thing I want to ask you is that there are a lot of companies that be will make it big. You know, maybe the future didn't look bright before COVID, but suddenly things have changed during COVID. COVID is a time because of lockdown. Even if you weren't comfortable using technology, choice नहीं है, इस्तेमाल करना पड़ेगा. बच्चों को पढ़ाना है, ये करना है, वो करना है. You have to use it, even if you didn't want to use it. It's a bit like demonetization. You may have been a little scared of making a payment, but you got
Yeah.
used to it.
Yeah.
There will be a lot of companies that whose fortunes will change. Simultaneously, there will be a lot of companies whose future looked very bright, but they'll go bust. What
Yes.
is your assessment? You know, what are you bullish on? What are you bearish on?
So there was a overall. This is a funny moment. The stock market is all time high, and the economy is all time bad. So there is a. It's like we are having incredible sunshine, and there is a freezing temperature. So that's the moment where you can't say that it is hot or cold, but you are freezing also, and there is, it's crazy time. So now to the question of what you're saying, that what would go forward good or not. For example, like O2O. where you bring offline things to online, which just sounds that it is going to be taking off in this country, because the most basic consumption, groceries and food, are converting themselves that you would place an order and this will be delivered from locally. I mean, this is clear, right? This is part of a genre of commerce called O2O. This is not online retail where you put it items in a warehouse and then you bring it, right? Now think about it. O2O is taking off, and the other part of O2O, which was that you were buying online and consuming in offline, namely cinema, train, flight, events, all that is going punk. I mean, all that is getting tanked. So the funny thing is, the same O2O is taking off, another part of O2O is tanking. So I would say that you have to be very precisely clear of your portfolio. If you are rich who has wherewithal, consolidate the companies. I mean, these all small companies can be consolidated, you can dominate market share. If you are let's say, a lot of people are in travel, we are in travel, so we converted that travel team to do our commerce business because this offline orders business is expanding. So I said, why? I mean, we are happy to say that, just expand on that side. But if you're a travel company on the other side, you have to switch your gears. Inevitably you have to switch your gear, whether you switch to, let's say, if you, I mean, I was talking to somebody who was running hotel chains. I don't have to tell you who this person could be if his name is another red color logo. And I was telling him, I was telling him, I cannot, I don't want to be in your shoes, man. I mean, not just the year had started in a rough weather, but also you've been going through huge turbulent and trouble times. So and I was trying to say that what would I be doing in that shoes? I mean, the conversation was that what could I be doing in those shoes?
And you feel,
I
yeah,
Netara, I cannot speak about specific opportunities because every opportunity comes with a little bit of catch right now. For example, like lending is a great opportunity, but bad debts are growing. Even if you can say that I'll control the bad debt, then the cost of capital is massive.
okay, okay. So then,
And
how is someone supposed to take a business decision?
uh, LAYLOW, Lelo.
No.
Sail through, sail. Till the time period, your own clarity is coming on. I mean, you are perfectly clear that I'm taking a bet on this, and you've seen it from four more dimensions. Don't spend the money. And once you've done it, then convert this LAYLOW to LELO.
ले लो जो डर गया सो मर गया वैसे ना वैसे भी तो है
Yes,
but
yes.
then you once very famously said that education is overrated. You're of course an engineer and all of that, okay? But then tell me something. It's very easy retrospectively and for someone who has arrived it, fought the odds to say it. पर अगर किसी को पेटीएम में भी नौकरी चाहिए, you will look at educational background ना. Your HR department will not be able to देखिएगा कि उसका passion है, drive है, risk taker है कि वो हार्वर्ड या स्टैनफोर्ड गया है, you know?
So मैं ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि given a choice, I will take an extraordinary, passionate, sincere person coming from as any college that you can name and remove the Ivy Leagues. I will choose that person over Ivy League pure person who has no passion or interest in the job. So your passion and your hard work on that passion makes it even more important than your skill. So education is overrated because education gives us potentially a skill. But if we don't convert that skill with a passion, we don't gain anything out of it. So education is overrated while passion is underrated. Because of passion, people learn new things. People learn the thing that they did not go to school for. For example, like you're listening me speaking English right now, I was passionate to talk to incredible people and have conversations in the language they understood. So I could translate or I could learn myself English to listen, read, or understand or speak. Now, not because that my education system was English medium, but still today I'm able to communicate with the people who studied through and through from English medium, not because of any other reason, but because I was passionate and sincere about that. I have desire to do this.
But Vijay, you're an aberration. You're
No,
an
so Nandar, I'll say one thing. How many people of your graduation class, when they went to the jobs, and necessarily not so there are two kind of people in the world. Everybody is educated at a different spectrum. Some are first class, and some are backbenchers. So I was topper in my school class, and I was backbencher in my engineering school.
Hmm.
So engineering college, I was backbencher because I had supplies and I did not know how to even write an English exam. And in my school exam, I was district topper and topper in enough sense, so to say. So I went through this curve. And now I want to tell you, the what did not matter ever was the percentage in the class. What mattered was that how much committed I was when the task was handed over to me. A lot of people, as there are many examples, I don't have to quote those examples, but there are many examples around us where people who did not get educated well enough in that subject but do so good in that subject and topic is because they have passion. So I want to tell you one more thing here. I, as Vijay Shekhar Sharma, did not know what are called assets and liabilities till the time period we applied for a bank license.
क्या बात कर रहे हो?
I swear on my God, I want to tell you this. I did not know, and I was surprised. Why is bank calling deposits as liability while they are their assets? Because people have put the faith in them. Then I learned, no, no, no. In a accounting lingo, this is a liability because you have to return. And I was like, loans are not asset. Loans are a bad thing. If they don't return, you are in a they are liability. You hand it over, you have to bring the back the money. So I was thinking from the layman language and in industry language, that lingo was different. And I learned it. So now today I can say that it is a bad asset class, good asset class, NPA percentages, NIM. I understand those words, which word I've never studied in my classroom or no, never studied in people around me. Do you think while I was busy doing the ringtone SMS or a content service, I was studying the banks? No, I was not. Did somebody teach me what is called payment settlement and a QR? No. It was all passion of making sure there is everything I learned. Then I started into it. So before we started, we were naive like a perfect naive person, and today we are called. Oh, we could be whatever the payment industry can treat us as, but we will be treated as okay. These guys should be treated as payment expert at least. Look, and no, we did not go to any classroom to study. So my answer still remains: education is overrated. Your passion and your sincerity is underrated for your success. While that is a bigger factor in your success.
And tell me something else. The education, the life education, the failures, the struggles. They're very easy to define you. They've become very easy to beat you down. How did you fight that? How did you convert that to your opportunity to?
Okay, so there is a teacher who's come from DIT, and I know him, MPS Bhatia sir. He just said that you were excellent student of DC, Vijay. Thank you, sir. I know your. I'm just name tells me. So he was responsible for me in a job interview coordination, training and placement department was under him when I got a job in campus. So such an incredible, overwhelming feeling to see you, sir. Thank you for that beginning in my career. I can see in the chat that he said, no, I was not an excellent student. He's being kind to me. I had supplies of previous year. Every following year was giving supplies of previous year. So yes, thank you so much for that, sir. So your question, Nantara, I missed it here. That there are
I was asking you that, everything looks like a bed of roses today. And I asked you this earlier. How did you convert your failures into successes? How did you make sure that you learned from every failure? Because a lot of people you're an aberration, you're an exception, right? We only heard about the one success story. What about the 99 failures?
okay. So first of all, I want to tell you that I always believe there is something bigger out there for me. The God has planned. So every time I'm getting failure, I believe that, oh, he just made me, I'm surviving. So there must be a lesson that I have to learn. So I never look at any failure as if it is a failure. I look at it as only one thing called, oh, what is the lesson in this? Oh, that lesson must be very important for me for my future. So I should quickly learn it. Remember those class one, class two, class three teacher used to teach you 1 plus 1 equal to 2, 2 multiplied by 2 is 4, 4 divided by 2 is 2. Then you know when you go to class 12 or engineering college, why were they teaching you? So I always believe that life and God is training me on to something which is a big out there for me later in my life. And this all learning experience will be something that I would be using. So in other words, I never look at it as if that oh, what a bad thing that happened in my life. I actually think oh, thank God. So there must be a lesson in this, which is not what I have to miss. It has happened. That's nice. We are survived. We are good. We're thankful to everything that happened in the past. But now onward, there is a lesson in this. So let's just look at it. So I have learned that take the lesson from your failures and never forget them and never repeat the failure again. In other words, lesson is the most important part that you take. And if you, I mean, I believe in this philosophy that God has a bigger plan for me, or universe has a plan for me. Who am I to plan? I could have not been here in front of you right now talking with so many people looking to listen me if God didn't have a plan, because I didn't have a plan like this. I never thought of that in my life there will be a day like this. So I totally believe that universe definitely has a bigger plan than we have a plan. Number one, if universe has a plan, then there must be a reason this event has happened. Let's just find out why this event happened, and there is a learning in it. So let's just take this and move forward, my friend.
So do you introspect a lot to figure out ye galat hua, ye sahi hua?
I respect a lot. Yes, I do. I try to take a learning. I try to dabble with my friends or teammates or people. Why? What did we do wrong? Or what is happening here? Are we misunderstanding what is happening? So I love to question a lot so that I can learn the movement, learn the lesson of the movement. And then, oh yeah, that's fine. If there is a lesson that we learned, it was not a costly mistake.
Tell me something. A lot of people have also been asking this question, particularly on Facebook. How did you get your big break? And how did you get to meet Warren Buffett and Jack Ma?
Okay, so I want to say this again. Universe has a bigger plan, kind of thing. So these are very individual stories. So I want to give you Jack my story because that is a very life turning story, and then so is the Berkshire story, by the way. But that is even funny. So you remember this is 2014. Flipkart has raised $1 billion, and some other companies have raised hundreds of $1 million. And Paytm, which is built out of my company's cash reserves, and I had reserves in 130 crore. हमारे पैसे भी रुपी में काउंट होते हैं, उनके लिए फंडिंग भी डॉलर में मिलती है.
वो भी सीखना पड़ा.
You know what I'm trying to tell you here. So अपनी तो जैसे तैसे थोड़ी ऐसे वैसे हो जाएगी. That kind of thing here. So I remember 2014 when 100 million US dollar was like everybody was getting it. And हम 100 crore हमारे बैंक अकाउंट में एक टाइम पे थे, वो कम हो के 10 crore महीने के खर्च हो के हमारे पास 30 crore बचे हुए थे. So I was left with literally not even a $10 million in the bank, and we want to say किला फतेह करेंगे, इनकलाब जिंदाबाद और पेटीएम चलेगा. And then these companies have hundreds of $1 million in the banks. I mean, I want to give you one point of time. There was a day Paytm has few crore rupees in the bank, tens of crores. And if you remember, there was a company called Free Charge in those days.
हाँ यार.
Yeah, they raised 80 million US dollar. हमारे पास 80 करोड़ भी नहीं है, उनके पास 80 मिलियन US डॉलर है. मतलब हमारे कंपटीशन के पास हमारे से एक गुना, दो गुना, तीन गुना नहीं, 50 गुना, 60 गुना ज्यादा पैसे होते हैं. So we are used to all of it. I mean, I just want to tell you that I'm so used to all this day, whenever it happens. So I was trying to raise money. I went to Seth Partner, who's my incredible co-founder. Like I called Ravi as my co-founder. He took me to Hong Kong for his LP meets. LP, for all of us who do not know what a venture fund does. So these VCs take money from some people who are super rich people, like at universities or rich people, and then they give money to entrepreneurs. So VCs के पैसे खुद के नहीं होते, वो भी पैसे raise करते हैं पीछे से.
Yeah.
People whom they raise from are called limited partners, LPs. So Seth took me to their LP meet, and just like I'm talking right now, I do not call these investment pitches as investment pitch. I call them light and sound show because because it has to have a action, passion, emotion, drama, everything, right? So I had my opportunity to perform my art of light and sound show of 30 minutes. So your time starts now. India's Got Talent. Prove it.
Oh, so much.
No, I mean, this is real, by the way. I want to tell you, all most critical meetings of rich and influential are given for 30 minute, 20 minute, not even 1 hour. And my life is lucky. All those meetings have expanded not just 30 minute to 1 hour to 2 hours, more than 2 hours, all the time. So then this is the learning that I've had, that if your meeting is stretching, it simply means people are enjoying. People are enjoying, meaning they're interested in you. If they are not, they would have anyway said time to khatam ho gaya, agla contestants. So this meeting, which was of LPs, I pitched my company, and I was pitching what we are doing, what mission, vision that we carried. The partner there, one partner says, I think you should meet Jack Ma. And I'm looking at him. Yeah, I should meet Jack Ma. Then, have you met Jack Ma? Have you met Jack Ma? I said, no, I'm not. So I think you should meet Jack Ma. Then I said, then I had to word it. I said, yeah, yeah, I think I should meet Jack Ma, but how? तो तो उसने बोला, कोई बात नहीं पुत्र, तू यहाँ तक आया है, यहाँ से आगे मैं तेरे को लेके जाएगा। So we need to so I think life has these people who come with you to take you to a door, and from that place they open the door and the next person picks you and takes you to the next door. So बिल्कुल ऐसे चाइल्डहुड में होता था कि घर तक लाने के लिए मम्मी दरवाजे तक लाती थी, फिर रिक्शा वाला आपको स्कूल लेके जाता था, स्कूल में फिर आपकी टीचर लेके जाती थी, फिर टीचर क्लास में आती थी। तो I have seen my life growing like this, that there is always someone who will take me to a place and say that shabash, good boy, अब आगे चलो। तो वहाँ पे I get to see someone else who takes me to someone else. Exactly this way, there is Mark Schwartz who calls me one day. I was in Toronto. We have labs, as you know, Paytm Labs Toronto. He says, "Hey Vijay, you got some time?" I said, "Yeah, Mark." He's my board member and he's the ex-chairman of the board of Goldman. So I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I got some time. Tell me."
How are you?
I was talking to Todd of Berkshire Hathaway. He seems to be very interested. If you think that you should have some time, he wanted to see you. I said, "Yeah, yeah. When can I see him?" So I can say this: all my life I've had people like who call me to say, "I think you should meet them." So I was like, "Okay, thank you." तो मैंने बताया ना, देखो बॉस, भगवान का बड़ा प्लान है, अपन का प्लान नहीं है। अब हमने कोई बैंकर थोड़े रखा था कि बख्शायर हाथवे के घर जाना, नॉक नॉक करना, दो नॉक में ना खुले तो एक और बार नॉक करना, और ना खुले तो चुपचाप आ जाना, खुल जाए तो बोलना पेटीएम से आया है। ऐसा कुछ नहीं था।
You went to Warren Buffett's house.
No, no, I'm trying to say is that we never had a plan to go to someone.
Yeah, yeah, I got it. Yeah.
There is always somebody who sent, इसे कहते हैं ना, जैसे देखो, I mean I think I see too many Hindi movies, or I think or I hear these stories जिसमें से कि मेले में कोई खो जाता है, फिर कोई आपका हाथ पकड़ के कहता है चलो यहाँ बैठ जाओ। So that is the thing. So I don't believe that there is any success of an individual or a company here. I think it is universe plan. So that is why in the universe plan, यार क्या फर्क पड़ता है कौन किसको कितने पैसे दे दे, जब तक ऊपर वाले की है ना तब तक किसी की भी नहीं चलती,
सब उसी की
और
चलनी
हमारी गाड़ी वहां से चलती है।
हाँ उसी की चलनी है. So Vijay Shekhar Sharma, do you therefore believe in destiny, or do you believe that it's God's plan that you have to work towards?
I believe God has sent me for a purpose, as a expectation of me to do something worthwhile in my lifetime, and has given opportunities one after other. I just have to be sincere and hardworking and committed to make sure I come up to the expectations of people whom I'm put in front of and those who give me a chance. Right now, this country is giving me a chance. So, to them.
और ये जो आप लाइट एंड साउंड शो के लिए जाते हैं, जब आपका लाइट एंड साउंड शो हुआ वॉरेन बफेट और जैक मा के साथ, हाउ डिड यू सेल देम द पेटीएम स्टोरी?
या आपको लग रहा है मैं पेटीएम स्टोरी सेल कर रहा हूँ अभी? पीछे किसी ने लिखा कब आईपीओ हो रहा है?
हाँ, मैं देखता हूँ.
किस स्टोरी को सेल करना, तो सेल आपको वहां करना पड़ता है जहां पे आई मीन यू कैन एक्सप्लेन द थिंग, यू डोंट कॉल इट सेलिंग। सो आई डोंट थिंक आई सोल्ड, आई मीन I sort of said that who we are, what we are on the mission and purpose of, where have we reached, how will we reach where we want to be, and that's about it.
Okay. So it was your passion was obviously there to see, and a great product that they saw you basically.
I totally believe that we should, as Paytm, who have a once in a lifetime opportunity to create a dent in this universe. I mean, it will be not possible for anybody else right now. Imagine 4 years back, they were we were just one of the wannabes, and we are still today. Except that our wannabism have grown up in the size, and we are now challenging or being part of a circuit, which is just extraordinary to believe that we are part of that fight. The as they say it in Olympics, the war is the reward. I mean, putting ourselves in this company of people. Just think about who are our competition. You can understand what I'm trying to say here. Wow, are you telling me that you're fighting them? Me, us fighting them? Wow. Now there must be a reason we've been sent till this place. We have to topple them. Very good, very good. That is why we were here. Oh, so many lessons in life. यहाँ तक के लिए थे.
हाँ.
Very nice.
You brought up Bollywood, so let me just quickly ask you this as well. After Amar Akbar Anthony type बातें भी कर रहे थे, but with what is happening in COVID, you do have an internet business as well. You were selling movie tickets and all of that. How do you see that happening? Whether it is concerts, whether it is events, how will this pan out? Because people are not going to go to theaters or big music concerts at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. I think there is no secret about it that the number of attendees will go low across the boards. Again, this opens up new opportunities. When people do not do what they were doing, they do something else. That's a statement.
Hmm.
For example, like if people are not going to go to theaters, then OTT apps is going to be big. There is no doubt about it. Streaming will be big. So our Paytm Insider team has launched streaming event, live events, just like right now we are talking. Maybe just imagine, Nayantara, if we would have hosted an ET event, which is like ET leadership event, right?
Hmm.
Do you think there would be 400 people in that Taj Mansingh room allowed to enter? नहीं ना. तो थोड़े दिनों में हो सकता है कि यही इवेंट हो जाए.
Huh.
सो भगवान वो तो देखो चलती नदी चलती रहेगी वो रास्ता बदलती रहेगी. We will have to adopt to what comes next, and those who turn they are called winners, those who don't they are called losers. तो इसमें क्या टेंशन है? अगर कोई मूवी नहीं चलेगा, कोई इवेंट नहीं जाएगा तो स्ट्रीमिंग में जाएगा. तो
Huh.
वही थी.
तो आप
ये
एक
थी
चीज
कोई
बता
और.
दो, एक चीज बता दो, आर यू अ गुड बॉस, स्ट्रिक्ट बॉस, हार्ड बॉस ड्यूरिंग वर्क फ्रॉम होम? तो थोड़ा टेंशन होता है या एचआर डिपार्टमेंट का टेंशन होता है कि पीपल वर्किंग नॉट वर्किंग? बिकॉज देखो अभी लॉकडाउन है, आफ्टर लॉकडाउन पीपल विल मिसबिहेव, वो पिक्चर देखने जाएंगे, कॉफी पीने जाएंगे, डेट के लिए जाएंगे, वो सब भी तो होगा।
भगवान करे वो इतने मजे करें कि उनकी जिंदगी में ऐसा ना फील हो कि वो सारे लॉकडाउन के बाद खत्म ही हो गए. जब उनकी जिंदगी लाइवली होगी, एक्साइटेड होगी, तब वो आकर कहेंगे यार हमें वहां पे टेंशन हो रही थी, अब हमें ना क्यूआर से ऑर्डर कर देना चाहिए. तो मतलब if you don't live life which is where you work hard passionately and you bring something that is needed, what is that life? I don't think this company is inside. I mean, I always very fondly call it that we have conference rooms which are very transparent, so they are glass house, by the way. So it is intended for transparency, but I just speak it as an example when I say that the problem in this room is that this glass house decides what will be the countries or customers will be seeing it. That is not what the reality is. In this room, only a few of us can have an opinion and then can believe that this is correct. But the reality is that outside it is. So if my teammates are going, enjoying, and going holidaying, partying, or coffee, like you said, anything they're doing, it is good. It is done good. They are part of this economy, and we are giving them money, so they move their part and contribute their part.
So that's the way to be. I hope my boss is listening, and if we have work from home, he feels the same way as long as I'm doing my work. That's the most.
You don't have to tell your boss that you're working or not. वो वीडियो ब्रॉडकास्ट पे चेक करते होंगे. हेलो नयनतारा, बॉस मैंने आप वीडियो देख लो यहाँ पे. मैं 1 घंटे तक काम कर रही थी, उसके 1 घंटे कोऑर्डिनेट कर रही थी.
I know how to let you go. You gave me more than an hour than you had promised me. You give me 1 hour, 10 minutes, but this was a fantastic webinar. Thank you so much and for your insight. All the very best.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, everyone. It was lovely talking to you. Thank you, Nayantara. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hope you had fun.